Beneath the crowded streets of wartime London, while bombs rained from the sky, a train kept moving. No lights, no passengers, no announcements, only the rhythmic hum of electric motors echoing through concrete tunnels that few Londoners even knew existed. What began as a simple mail railway would become one of Britain's most secret wartime lifelines, a hidden network that carried orders, intelligence, and hope through the darkest days of the Blitz. This is the story of the secret train beneath London. Long before the Second World War, London's streets were choking with horse carts, motor cars, and postmen. Every day, millions of letters needed to cross the city. In 1914, engineers proposed a bold solution, an automatic underground railway run entirely by electricity, connecting the major sorting offices from Paddington to Whitechapel. Work began in 1915, paused by the Great War, and resumed in the Roaring Twenties. By 1927, the Post Office Railway, later nicknamed the Mail Rail, was operational. Driverless miniature trains carried sealed mail bags through narrow tunnels 6.5 miles long. Hidden 60 feet below ground, the system moved faster than any van could above. For more than a decade it worked quietly, unseen, a marvel of British ingenuity. Then came 1939, and war returned to Europe. September 1940, the Luftwaffe launches its campaign against London. Night after night the capital burns. The General Post Office, the heart of Britain's communications, faces collapse. Sorting offices are shattered by bombs, postal vans lie mangled in the streets. Yet even in war, information must move. Soldiers at the front write home. Families wait for news. Government orders, coded messages, pay packets, all flow through the postal network. The mail rail, buried deep below the destruction, becomes the only safe artery left. Engineers reinforce tunnel walls, install blackout lights, and extend sidings to store emergency supplies. Soon, the War Office sees its potential not merely as a mail line, but as a secure communications route linking Whitehall with key ministries. Inside the tunnels, the world above seems distant. The air is warm, metallic, tinged with oil and ozone. Men and women work by dim lamps, sorting sacks of mail beside the rails. Every few minutes the electric hum grows louder. A ghostly train glides past, small but fast, carrying the lifeblood of a nation at war. Engineers sleep in hammocks strung between pipes. Telegraph operators tap out coded bursts to stations along the line. Occasionally, the muffled thunder of bombs rolls overhead, the dust shakes loose, but the trains do not stop. They call it the safest place in London, though everyone knows that one lucky bomb could bury them forever. Still, morale remains astonishingly high. They hang Union Jacks on tunnel walls, brew tea from condensed milk, and paint cartoons of Churchill on toolboxes. The underground family endures. By 1941, the mail rail carries far more than letters. It becomes a courier for classified documents, encrypted reports from Bletchley Park, aircraft specifications from the Ministry of Supply, even prototype radar components. Couriers load the trains in sealed containers under armed guard. Each run is logged by a clerk who never sees the contents. In one operation, code-named Silver Thread, engineers install a direct spur linking the tunnels to a treasury basement. It allows transfer of payrolls and gold bullion if invasion comes. Another link connects to the Central Telegraph Office, providing a backup cable line in case surface networks are destroyed. The trains themselves are modified, heavier motors, blackout paint, and false schedules to confuse any spies who might learn of their existence. To the public, it remains a rumor, a secret tube train that runs without drivers. Few believe it, and those who do are told politely to forget what they've heard. Necessity breeds invention. In these tunnels, wartime engineers pioneer systems decades ahead of their time. Automatic signaling relays, magnetic sensors, and self-propelled maintenance trolleys, all born from the pressure to keep the mail moving under fire. When the Blitz finally eases in 1941, The network has already carried millions of letters and thousands of secret consignments without losing a single train. British and American observers study the system, later adapting its automation for munitions factories and early computer control. Few of the tunnel workers ever receive recognition. Their names remain on payroll sheets, now yellowed with age. But every soldier who received a letter from home owed a quiet debt to the people who kept the line alive beneath their feet. Victory in Europe came in May 1945. London celebrated above ground. Below, the trains continued one last week of wartime duty. Then the emergency codes were withdrawn, security seals removed. The mail rail returned to civilian control. Still secret, still unseen. For decades it carried Britain's letters, quietly serving a recovering nation. But technology changed. By the 1980s, lorries and sorting machines made the tunnels obsolete. In 2003, after 76 years of service, the final train ran its route in silence. The lights went out, the tunnels slept. For years, the mail rail was forgotten, a rumor whispered by engineers, until in 2017 the tunnels reopened as a museum beneath Mount Pleasant, a living time capsule of wartime Britain. Visitors can now ride the tiny electric train and hear the echoes of those who once worked in darkness. The rusted rails, the faded wartime posters, the smell of dust and oil, all reminders of a moment when London's survival depended on secrecy, determination, and sheer British ingenuity. The secret train beneath London was never built for glory. It was built to keep the heart of a nation beating, quietly, relentlessly, unseen. And though the war has long since ended, if you listen closely in the tunnels beneath Mount Pleasant, you might still hear it, the faint hum of a train that refused to stop.